relationship because you stood me up 3 times. It's because you stood me up 3 times. But if you had me there, you had me feeling like you're gonna do something, and then you act like you didn't want to do nothing. You going to get off. Because there's people that's out there that's waiting.
You didn't have to say that.
I'm saying that because
say that.
you were dealing with the people. Why is it wrong for me to say that people interested in me? You saying don't do that?
Oh my God. Can we? I don't want to talk about this no more because you stick to what you saying and I'm going to stick to how I'm feeling and it's not going to end and you're going to be mad.
Our assumptions about Brat and Judy's relationship are being challenged by this blazing hot tea. Despite Lisa R's frequent Instagram discoveries, the couple has been acting as though everything is picture perfect. But here's the joke. Lisa, who has access to numerous indisputable receipts, has accused Judy of being anything but the devoted ride-or-die friend that we all believed her to be, and reaching some quite dubious financial conclusions. Things are beginning to make sense now, and it's messier than we first thought, even though it turns out that LisaRayne had been secretly watching Judy's behavior from the beginning. Let's be clear about this. When LisaRayne talks about her younger sister, we listen, but we have to keep in mind that assistance did not arrive. This is where things go bad, even though Judy has been portraying herself in public as Brat's fairy godmother. As her loyal fans know, Judy intervened and prevented Brat from reaching her lowest moment. Is Judy involved in dubious transactions and schemes that may be found in a Wall Street playbook? The hilarity may lie in the fact that she has been charging interest all along. Financial, but here's the catch. Judy, Kaleidoscope's brilliant CEO, has amassed an incredible $40 million empire. LisaRayne says rather frankly that Judy has been using her fortune to keep the firm running while Brat is out here trying to avoid bankruptcy and barely making ends meet. Think about Brat playing with just $200. But even though Judy owns the park, the boardwalk, and every Monopoly card in between, LisaRayne reveals that she is also supporting Brat's kids, including her own mother. The actual kicker is right here. Judy appears to be embroiled in a financial and power struggle, and her loved ones are participating in an unbelievable scenario. Unpacking the mess that housewives are is worthwhile, says LisaRayne. According to reports, Judy has given Brat a severe warning. If she doesn't remain out of jail and keep helping her husband until he faces repercussions, Judy has been giving care conscientiously and is well aware that Brat is committed to achieving her goals. There's more to it than Judy's pledge to stop providing financial support. LisaRayne asserts that Judy gives Brat ultimatums when she disobeys the rules and restricts her access to necessities. Luxury goods like Bentleys and pricey purses are unrelated to this. The relationship is turbulent and control-hungry. Judy and Brat's reputation as a power couple is already beginning to fade. After everything that has happened to her, Brat's life now feels more like a golden cage than a fairy tale. It was both awful and interesting how money, which had once been seen as a symbol of redemption, seemed to be ripping them apart when Judy arrived with her inheritance. LisaRayne's revelations indicate a major breach of trust and reflect a darker side to their relationship.
I had never had anybody make me feel the way she made me feel, and the attention to detail that she paid to me, and she just like stalked a lot of stuff that was going on in my life, and I was like, wow, what is this? You know, it just felt, I never felt this way, and I was like, you know what, this is it. This is like it for me, and I just want this feeling for the rest of my life, and I knew then I wanted. So we were at her mother's house one day just chilling, and she was saying, we had been together already on the low for a while, and she was saying, I'm gonna post it. I was like, no, you're not, I'm gonna post it. So we kept joking about who's gonna post it, and then one day she looked at me, the next day she was like, I posted it. I said, bitch, we came out.
She seems to be a prisoner of unforeseen events, stuck in a scenario from which she is unable to escape. Despite adding a fresh layer to the story through her point of view, Judy continues to live a wealthy lifestyle while supposedly acting as an endless ATM for BR, who has mentioned feeling confined and the tightening of those metaphorical golden chains. The question of how much it costs looms large, despite the fact that the lifestyle is luxurious. The stakes are higher than ever, and the whole family is tense despite the extravagant mayhem. Just when you think the tea can get much hotter, it will pour, so hold on to your chairs. Even while LisaRayne vehemently denied any physical abuse, her revelations on the purported financial disaster throw fresh light on the matter and make it impossible to overlook the imperfections in the glitzy facade. Because things are getting out of hand and Brat's reputation is suffering. Everyone is wondering if this power couple's relationship is ready to end. The world has seen Judy and Brat share their Instagram-worthy moments of laughing, smiling, and kissing. But behind the scenes, it feels like your favorite romantic comedy has abruptly transformed into a psychological horror. LisaRayne paints a terrifying picture of alleged mental and financial strain. We all know how hard it is to get away from someone who controls your money and supposedly keeps you terrified all the time. It's a horrible, complicated catastrophe. Once praised for being a loving and loyal wife, Judy is now accused of exploiting her wealth and power to control and manipulate D. The story of a wealthy and passionate power couple has evolved into a turbulent one thanks to a Brat. Despite the socially baseless accusations, their reputation has taken a hit. Is this the end of the romantic tale we thought was real? Or is there still hope for reconciliation? The drama is undeniable. and the fallout is just getting started. It is clearer than ever that there are breaches in control and lost trust. As usual, the media has only fueled the fires. Smoke and mirrors around what could have been a spark that ignited a blazing conflagration. A polished exterior with filtered photos and endearing remarks that hardly ever reveal the full reality. But there is more to it, and it is more disturbing when you look past the mayhem. Deb Brat's controversial remarks regarding lesbian weddings and LGBTQ+ marriages have generated a lot of controversy recently. Many people choose to overlook the irony. Through these remarks, she is expressing her discontent and annoyance with Judy, which is a sharp contrast to their previous romance. As these problems continue, some people are left to consider the idea of love itself. Anyone would wonder if love can really endure drama, wealth, fame, and power, given the alleged behind-the-scenes conflict and the rifts in their ostensibly ideal partnership. Unfolding is more than simply a cliché. It's a complicated breakdown of identity, love, and trust. The public outcry in the neighborhood has made the issue worse. The conversation is dominated by harsh criticism, with many people demanding that Brat be dismissed for her controversial remarks. There are also rumors going around about Judy's sexual orientation, and some say that this has only made Brat's emotional distress worse after she previously being abused financially and emotionally. Brat is consequently caught up in a maelstrom of reflection and doubt. Others think she is crumbling under the weight of the alleged destruction Judy caused, while others assume that she may be experiencing a more severe identity crisis. She is now starting to question her wife's true intentions and sexual orientation. The constant stress of living in the spotlight, where every action is scrutinized, adds to the turmoil. The novel examines identity, heartbreak, and surviving in the harsh spotlight of notoriety, in addition to being about a failing romance. Despite the fact that having a child usually brings happiness and togetherness, the situation has gotten even worse since the baby was born. Every speech is well thought out, and the mix of personal betrayal and public censure can push anyone over the edge. Had just gotten worse, the pressure in their relationship can worsen if the adultery accusations prove to be accurate. Many people are wondering whether Brat's increasingly erratic behavior is the result of abuse or anything more serious. Even though the drama surrounding their lives is the talk of the town and every new revelation stokes the flames, let's take a moment to consider what actually happened. Judy's egg and an unnamed sperm donor were used to create IVF, the wonder of modern technology. It has been enmeshed in the web of chaos engulfing their special family, rather than being a lovely symbol of progress and love. Once appearing to be a contemporary love story, Dynamic is now beginning to resemble a soap opera that is streamed live. When lies, chaos, and love are contrasted, it may be hard to tell which is true. Comes to an end, and the drama starts. Despite the fact that the family was born into a world of opportunity, the controversy surrounding them jeopardizes the likelihood of a successful and unified narrative. The matter may become much more problematic if there are accusations of dishonesty and abuse. Rumor has it that Brat would attempt to obtain primary custody of baby True, which might result in a heated legal battle with Judy due to their biological kinship. Hold any weight the shocking claim that Judy has dated other men, a charge that could significantly change the outcome of the custody dispute if Brat can provide proof of infidelity in court, and the revelation that their extravagant wedding may not have even been a legally binding union, some argue it was more of a symbolic commitment ceremony, could have a big impact. Shift the scales in her favor, but underneath the tumultuous legal proceedings and circulating allegations, the real tragedy is that the innocent party child is now at the center of an adult battlefield where unresolved conflicts and personal grievances threaten to overshadow what should be a loving and caring environment. What started out as a tale of modern love and family has evolved into one of betrayal, heartache, and legal disputes. Everything might be totally upended by the fallout, with repercussions that could alter not just their lives but also their child's destiny. One moment, TR is caught up in a contentious custody dispute. The next, he is encircled by the love of two mothers. But what if, as you get older, you find out that your birth story has been tainted by claims of adultery, legal troubles, and manipulation? It would be too much to bear to know that. This custody fight will undoubtedly become a media sensation for everyone, let alone a child, if it is made public. We are all watching this play out like a slow-motion train disaster, with each move adding more drama to the already tense situation. Indeed, the person with the highest stakes is the one who probably bears the biggest burden. The headlines are relentless, and careless charges are flying in all directions. Circumstance. Despite being a terrible reality, the scene unfolding before our eyes seems all too real. Everyone's main concern is how to protect the truth from this pandemonium, regardless of what happens to an innocent child. What should have been a story of family and love has turned into a spectacle that could have a lasting impact on all involved, but especially on True, whose future is at risk. Now that the drama is at an all-time high, let's go straight to the point. Imagine growing up and learning that everything about you, including the story of how you were born and the contentious argument between your parents, is widely circulated online. The knowledge that their burden will only increase over time must be carried by everyone, but children in particular. Instagram moments. As what originally appeared to be a fairy tale gradually uncovers its darker elements, everyone is seeing their lives fall apart in real time. Both the public and the individual are affected. The connection between Judy and Brat is anything but straightforward. There are numerous levels of tension, dishonesty, and ambiguity that are impossible to ignore. The thought of what this youngster who didn't ask for any of this turmoil would have to go through is heartbreaking. But what if everything we believe to be true about their relationship turns out to be false? You see, honey, they are not the perfect image they once were. It's possible that Judy didn't mean well when she dealt with Brat. What if the collaboration was a front? According to rumors, some individuals think Judy saw Bratz as a means of becoming more well-known, improving her brand and bringing in new clients. If that's the case, everything is upside down, but there's a catch. Judy already owned a $40 million organization and was a well-known business titan, creating waves using Kaleidoscope hair products in her.
I have this thing that I tell her often about even a canal journey. We discussed a lot on it, and I said often, I know I'm inspiration to you, but make sure that you're doing this for me.
Oh.
Do not do this for me.
Why do you say that to her?
Because I feel like, as human beings, people can regret something if they've done it for someone else versus them doing it for themselves. So once we came to an agreement that this was for her and that she was, she was ready and it was from being inspired by it wasn't for me, that was when, because I was 100% uncomfortable with her, because beginning
I think that is you are such a strong person, and I think that is a very strong thing to say to someone. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself, and have her reach in to answer that question.
Yeah.
Because that is a smart thing to ask. Were you nervous to ask her that?
Yes and no. I feel like our relationship is really close, and I feel like I'm very transparent with her along the whole.
Why would she have to provide Brat additional authority? It becomes challenging to discern between love, ambition, and manipulation at that point, making us question whether this relationship was truly about love or just about use one another to accomplish greater things. The more we delve, the more questions come up and the solutions appear to be elusive. More people are starting to question Judy's intentions every day, with some Brat entered the LGBT+ market as a stepping stone, a calculated commercial move to increase her clientele, draw in new business, and increase profits rather than out of love. Whispers are heard. Though it was initially intended to be a passionate love story, it was actually a callous commercial endeavor intended to boost Judy's riches and influence. However, it's important to remember that her reputation is far from her polished exterior. Belies a complex web of turmoil, disputes, and alarming accusations ranging from fraud to allegations of unethical behavior. It's becoming more obvious that people are beginning to wonder if even more concerning are the rumors of questionable financial dealings and dishonest business practices in her past. They can give a very different impression of her actual objectives, which were never love at all. Judy has created a commercial empire, but is she truly the astute businesswoman given the cost? The more you learn about the woman we seem to know, the more you realize that the truth can be far darker and more complicated than it seems. Purports to be, or is there anything far more sinister beneath that spotless exterior?
Ask y'all this. Now, how has motherhood been? Because watching y'all journey on screen, I follow y'all on Instagram, I'm seeing it. How has motherhood been for y'all ever since I had a new bundle of joy?
Motherhood for me, everything. I feel like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He is so, just everything is about him in our whole lives now.
And I get to watch her experiences. So this is my fourth child, but I get to watch her fall in love all over again every single day.
I love my
So today, this is your first time being a mom. So, what has that experience been like? What has it been just like, seeing your baby, seeing your baby's first certain thing? What's that been like?
It's been, I'm a crybaby now. It's been emotional. When I look at him and I see him, I can't believe that he came out of my stomach. Can't believe that I carried him. I can't believe that it's ours. Motherhood is everything. It's a job, though, and you better be ready for it because it takes time. You be tired, but you don't mind because you're so in love.
Now, I know we chatted about who's the better disciplinary. Now, let me ask, now that we've had baby so far, who is disciplined? Is it? I smell. Okay. Rock.
Clearly.
I feel like I know exactly who it is.
Like I said.
Us as Aries.
With each new revelation, the distinction between fact and fiction becomes more hazy. What originally seemed to be a fairy tale romance is now more like a high-stakes game of power, money, and manipulation when the layers of dishonesty are removed. Whether Judy is a persistent scammer or if a more serious narrative hasn't been revealed yet is still the true question. The true question that permeates the entire situation, however, is whether or not Brat was intentionally misled into this carefully considered situation. Social media presents a positive image on the surface complete with adorable photos, humorous situations, and an idyllic story that looks too good to be true. But let's face it, Instagram is merely a meticulously curated highlight reel. With each new revelation, the distinction between fact and fiction becomes more hazy. What originally seemed to be a fairy tale romance is now more like a high-stakes game of power, money, and manipulation when the layers of dishonesty are removed. Whether Judy is a persistent scammer or if a more serious narrative hasn't